Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everyone doing today? How is everyone doing today? Hey, this is Gregory Wiles coming live to you from Houston, Texas with this inspirational morning walk. Hey, once again, it's not a great day, in Houston, Texas. We're nice and warm here. We're up in the 70s, but it's still good temperatures to walk in. Nice and warm. You get to hit that sweating point quickly. But yes, for first time listeners, this is Gregory Wiles from Houston, Texas. I usually get some exercise in the mornings and I just share my thoughts with you guys. Whatever I'm inspired to talk about that day, I will share that with you guys while I'm getting my exercise. But today I can sit in the vehicle. Mr. Osmond Smith, good morning. I'm going to sit in the vehicle today. I have 2 pages to go through. I want to be comfortable today because we promised this week we're going to be talking about fasting, because lots of the things we're dealing with required not only prayer but fasting, so we can get into that. So yes, you can go on YouTube. If you miss anything, you can go on YouTube. Everything is on there. I usually try to forward the link throughout the day. When I'm finished here within the hour, after I'm finished getting my walking in, I'm going to upload this video to YouTube. So if you go on there, you can subscribe, so even if you don't catch it live, you will know anytime I post anything. You can get that notification. All right. So today, like I said, this week we're gonna be dealing with fasting. We're gonna be dealing with fasting today. We're gonna do a little introduction into the fasting, and then we're going to have to we can go into some more details. I'm not sure. It's a lot of information, and because I'm only doing short little segments in the morning, I may need to push in an extra day. I'll let you guys know. Maybe might have to push in. I usually on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I may need to push in an extra day. I may need to go on Thursday to get you guys the information if I realize I'm not on track to get you most of it, because I want to do it in this week. I want you to get the information. I want you to get it quickly so you can put everything together. So if that's how I'm being led, I'll let you guys know on Wednesday if I need to push in an extra session to get you all this information that you need concerning fasting. Good morning, Tessa Hunt. Good morning, cuz. How are you doing? So let's jump right into it. Let's go right into it today. So this is just an introduction of fasting, and then we can get into some more details later down the week. But fasting is how I would define it is voluntary abstaining from food for spiritual purposes. Voluntary abstaining from food for spiritual purposes, because people do fast for a lot of different reasons. You can fast for people fast for weight loss. There are a lot of these fasting centers around where people go and they fast for weight loss purposes, and some of these people who do the yoga and stuff, they said to cleanse the body, and it has a lot of other benefits to it, right? But the fasting I'm talking about is for spiritual purposes. Mr. Sherlock Prince, good morning. How are you doing today? Yes, this fasting we're talking about is for spiritual purposes, right? And then sometimes people need to fast before they go and do some type of medical tests or medical exam or surgeries and stuff like that. But what we're talking about is fasting for spiritual purposes, right? So sometimes people fast not only from food but also from water. However, this is the exception rather than the rule. So you don't actually have to only fast from food. You could do fasting from water. Also, you could fast from both food and water, but I hear most experts recommend, if you're going to fast from the water, don't go more than 3 days without the water, because they said the body need that. But if you're filled with the Spirit and God lead you, but some of the experts saying 3 days, 72 hours is the most you should go without having the water. But you don't know what the Lord lead you to do, but that's what I'm gonna tell you right now. 72 hours without the water. All right. So Jesus started his public ministry. Fasted before he started his public ministry. That's how important fasting is, right? He started his public ministry. He fasted before he started his ministry, right? If you look in Matthew here, 4 2, it said, and when he had fasted for 40 days and 40 nights, afterwards he was hungry, right? So you see, before he started his public ministry, he fasted. He fasted, right? And he said he was hungry. So to that point, where sometimes people argue, oh, did Jesus fast from both water and food? This scripture here, if I look at this scripture and I'm trying to really study it, he said afterwards he was hungry. And usually you would be more thirsty more than hungry. You'd be thirsty first before hungry if you don't drink water for all those days. But the scripture never said he was thirsty. It said he was hungry. So, you could conclude that he was probably drinking water and he was just abstaining from the food. I mean, hey, we ain't going into a big debate on that, right? But we're just looking at the fasting part of it. He fasted for the 40 days. And what I'm going to do, guys, and just hint at this quickly, on this same scripture, when he was tempted by the devil, for the people who already fasted and probably a little confused to think they can get the deliverance and everything, is that the devil is going to tempt you on a fast. You need to understand what happened during and after the fast. We can get into that session later down in the week. But after the fast or during the fast, you will be heavily tempted. Even Jesus was tempted. Remember when the devil come to him and was tempting him after the same fast here that he went on. But I'm going to get into that. But just let you know, you're going to have some challenges during and after your fast. Because a fast is like you fed up of this bully, right? You got a bully, you bully someone bullying you. You get fed up. You just make up your mind, I'm going to stop this bullying right now. And you going and find the bully. You ain't waiting for the bully to come and look for you to bully you no more. You had enough of this, and I'm going to look for that bully now, and I'm going to, I'm going to defend myself now. I had enough of it. So that's what fasting is. You're going for spiritual backup. You're fed up with the situation where you're going on. Your regular prayers is not working, and you decide, you know what, the enemy, I'm coming to your door right now. I'm going to engage in serious spiritual warfare, and I'm going to get my spiritual backup right now and to help me fight you right now, right? So that's it, right? So giving up the little day, 2, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 21 days, 40 days, whatever fast you can go on, depends on what you're dealing with. It's easy because what you're going through, it's easy to make the sacrifice, right? So that's what God wants, when you humble yourself and come before him, right? So fasting is really a self-humbling. It's humbling yourself. The primary part is humbling, is self-humbling. It's a scriptural means ordained by God for us to humble ourselves before him. You got to humble yourself, right? And the responsibility to humble ourselves is placed upon us. Don't you ever go and pray to ask God to humble you. Don't do it. You need to humble yourself before God. Don't ask him to help you to humble yourself before him, because he would put you in some embarrassing situations to cause you to humble yourself. So don't go praying for that. You humble yourself. Your responsibility is on you to humble yourself, right? So this is what fasting is. You're humbling yourself. Remember what we did on Friday, but in 1 Kings, but 21, from but 28 to 29, when the wicked King Ahab was doing all his wickedness, right? All his wickedness, and God sent Elijah to give him the prophecy how he's going to destroy him, right? And after he went on a fast, right? Remember what the Lord said. This is in 1 Kings 21:28. So then the Lord of the God came to Elijah the Tishbite. Have you noticed how Ahab has humbled himself before me due to the fast, right? So this is a self-humbling. See what God said? Have you noticed how Ahab have humbled himself before me? And because he humbled himself, as wicked as he was, hear what God did. Because he has humbled himself, I will not bring this disaster in his day, but I'll bring it on his house in the days of his son, right? So he humbled. So we humble. This is a way of us humbling ourselves before God by going on the fast and giving up the food, giving up the water, right? And when you're going on the fast, just make sure you got some time to, where you can be focusing on God, where the least distraction that you can get, and you're getting in his word. Whatever you're fasting for, you get those scriptures, you get, books in the Bible and everything, and you go and you stay in the Word, keep your mind focused on God, right? If you're humbling yourself to Him, you want to give Him as much attention, your full attention as possible, right? So you know this thing about humbling yourself. For you guys who have multiple children, probably can relate. Some of you can probably relate to it. You got a couple of kids. You got this one kid who's humble, always humble. He come to you, mommy or daddy, he asks you for some advice, or you tell them to do something. Yes, ma'am, yes. Or they would go to listen keenly to your advice you gave them. They're going to execute based on what you're telling them. And you know what I mean? And you got the next one now. They think they know it all. You can't give them no advice. They come to you. Even if they come to you and say, mommy or dad, they need help with something, you said, okay, you know what? Just come and pick me up and take me to the bank, and I will get, if you need some little funds or so, I'll get it for you. And now I got to work. I don't have time. I can't take time off. I got to work. And, you trying to help them, but the next kid now say, okay, mommy, no problem. Whatever it is, if you got something for me, I'll take a time off. I'll take a day off from work. I'll take you around. I'll do it. They humble themselves. They listen to you. Who most likely you gonna get most help from you, right? Who most likely get more help from you, right? The one who humbling himself, who come in, who follow the instruction, because the next one, they're not coming. They think they know it, right? So that's just a little example of God, or how we get this help. When we humble ourselves to Him, it's like, okay, He's humbling Himself. He needs me. He needs me, right? He can't do this on his own. He needs me, and I'm going to give him that spiritual backup that they need to take care of whatever is affecting them. So let's go and see. And look, 2 scriptures here we got to talk about humbling. James 4:10, he said, humble yourself before the Lord and He will lift you up. So when you humble yourself before the Lord, He will lift you up. And that's what the fast when you humble yourself. 1 Peter 5:6 say, humble yourselves, therefore, under God's mighty hand, and He will lift you up in due time. He will lift you up in due time, right? So let's go and see why we should engage in this fast. Why and when we should engage in a fast, right? Let's look at Matthew 17:14 through 27. Matthew 17:14 through 27. It said, And when they had come to the multitude, they came to Him, a certain man kneeling down to Him and saying, Lord, have mercy on my son, for he's a lunatic and sorely vexed. For often he falleth into the fire, into the water, right? So he's a man describe him as a lunatic, right? When I look up the word lunatic, the word luna came from the Latin word moon, or moonstruck, or moon sick, right? So when they put on this stick. So this is probably implying people who really get affected by the different moon cycles. You remember back in the days we said when the vampire come out when it's full moon, this vampire that's come out in the movie show you that, right? So that's when they use this term lunatic. It's saying it's something he's being affected by the cycles of the moon. So I guess wherever cycle the moon is in, whether it's full moon, half moon, whatever, this guy can just go crazy and do some crazy stuff, right? So let's go on and see. And I brought him to the disciples, and they could not cure him. So this man bring his son to the disciple. The disciple could not cure him. You hear how we talking here right now, right? You hear what they're saying? We have mercy on my son, for he is a lunatic. He's saying he's a lunatic. And they say brought them to the disciples, and the disciples could not cure him, right? So this guy is sick. Right? Then Jesus answers and said, O faithless and perverse generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Bring him to me, right? And Jesus rebuked the devil. I hear nothing but no devil up here, right? The man said, my son is a lunatic. He's always threw himself into the fire and into the water. I guess every time the moon, whatever cycle the moon is in, this guy can throw himself into the fire, he can throw himself in the water, he's trying to hurt himself. He described him as a lunatic, right? But he said, bring him to the disciples could not cure him, right? So nobody is thinking about the devil here right now. No one is thinking about the devil, and this will happen to us. We see someone sick, and there's a Paul saying, look beyond that. Don't look at the person that is sick and what they're doing. Let's look beyond. We're pulling the strings. So you see Jesus, and Jesus rebuked the devil, and he departed out of him, and the child was cured from that very hour. So what was causing this guy to be a lunatic? He had a lunatic spirit. And when Jesus rebuked and cast out that lunatic spirit, the guy was good. He didn't throw himself into no more fire, no more water. Don't care what cycle the moon was in. He was cured, right? But you see, they didn't have this thing up here. They didn't know the disciples couldn't cure it, right? Then came the disciples to Jesus apart. They come to Jesus in private and say, "Hey man, hey master, why couldn't we cast that devil out?" Hold on, my paper fall here. Let me pick it up. So why couldn't we cast that devil out? Right? They want to know why they couldn't do it, man. Jesus, you give us powers. We were casting out a lot of demons before and healing people. And all of a sudden, we just can't do this one. What's going on, master? What's going on, man? Are we losing it? Right? And then, so let's see what Jesus tell them here now. Let's see what Jesus tell them, right? And Jesus said unto them, because of your unbelief, for verily I said unto you, if ye have faith as a grain of a mustard seed, ye shall say unto the mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible for you. But the part what I want to focus on in 21, he said, however, this kind goeth not out, but by prayer and fasting. So Jesus saying there's some class of spirits. So what you dealing with, some things that you dealing with right now. Your regular prayer is not going to work. Just regular praying is not going to work. You see, the disciples were doing that. The limited power that they had, they could have cast out many demons. They could have cured a lot of people. But Jesus is saying certain kinds that we dealing with, certain things that we dealing with, certain types of sickness, certain types of generational curses that we dealing with. Jesus is saying it's not going to go by just your regular praying. Your regular praying is not going to work for something. So that's why we got to engage in fasting, right? We got to engage in fasting for certain things that we're dealing with. A lot of these generational issues we're dealing with. Regular prayers, because I'm sure a lot of us going to church, we're praying for years. We're trying to get rid of the spirit of anger that we're dealing with. Some of us trying to get out of poverty. Some of us can't get married. Some of us are kids going astray, and we praying and we got the whole prayer group at church, and they're praying, and your situation still look like it's not changing, and you wonder if God is not hearing you. Yes, he is, but he's saying some kind, you got to get additional spiritual backup. You got to get additional spiritual backup. You remember that was explained in Daniel, when Daniel went on his 21-day fast, and the spirit come, the messenger angel come and tried to tell him, man, from the first day you go on your fast, God sent me with this message. But remember, the prince of Persia held him up. And who was the prince of Persia, right? And then Daniel, Archangel Michael had to come and help him get past the prince of Persia, right? So you even see, even some of God's angels, they got some demonic spirits are more powerful than them. So let's go on and see in Ephesians 6:12. That's what Paul was telling us. Ephesians 6:12. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers. This is the hierarchy of the kingdom of darkness, Paul is saying. We don't look at the person. Don't look at the lunatic man in front of you. That guy, that boy, that man, we're eating out of the trash can on the streets right now. Don't look at him. Is what is driving him. That's not the problem. God didn't make him that way. Right? It's what is driving him. No human being, God, ain't going to eat out of no trash can and defecating on himself. And that is what driving them to do it. You see, they look at the man, said, and God and Jesus rebuked the devil out of him, right? Right? So this is what Paul is saying here. These principalities, this is the hierarchy. This is how this kingdom of darkness is structured. Principalities is like right next in line after Lucifer himself, right? Against powers. You got the power, and then they're coming down. So if you come, maybe coming up against principalities, you can't. Principalities got to fight principalities. When you see people talking about, oh, I'm coming against principalities. Hey, you go on. You go on and come against principalities and see if principalities won't whack you every time. You got to go into praying and fasting and let God send his principalities, his powerful angels to deal with them. You don't deal with them by yourself. We're no match by ourselves to the enemy. We got to get God, and we got to get his backup, and got to get his assistance, right? So that's why some of the things we're dealing with, we have to get prayer. We have to get additional spiritual backup. It's beyond our regular prayers. It's beyond the little messenger angel that's going to come and give you the message. Beyond that. Because Daniel show us that. When the prince of Persia is like this principality, he is the demon was over all the wickedness of Persia. He was over the wickedness of Persia. He was much stronger. So I guess the angel had to pass through his territory to come to Daniel, and he withheld him. He withheld him for 21 days until God sent Archangel Michael, which is the archangel he put over his people, and had to come and fight the principality. So so Gabriel could come and give Daniel the message, right? So that's what we're saying. Certain things that we're dealing with, regular prayer is not going to work. But because Daniel was on the fast, that's why you could get the extra spiritual backup. If he was just regular praying, he may not get extra spiritual backup, right? He was on that fast. So that fast entitled you to additional spiritual backup to come and help you with what you're dealing with, right? It entitles you. It's like the prerequisite, what you need to do to get additional spiritual backup. That's what fasting really is, right? So, but let me go into this quickly. Before you go on a fast, though, please, you got to clear your heart of all unforgiveness. Don't got no bitterness. Don't got this pride. You got to clear your heart of these things, or don't go on a fast, please, because the enemy is going to whoop you silly. This is openings for him to whoop you. You got to clear your heart. Don't got no unforgiveness. Because even if you do have unforgiveness, here is Psalm 66:18 saying, if I did not confess my sins in my heart, the Lord would not listen. He's not going to listen to you if you got unforgiveness in your heart, number one. And when you go in and fast, you're just starving yourself for no reason, because he ain't going to hear you. And then the enemy is an opening for the enemy, because when you fasting, like I said, you taking the fight to the enemy. You saying, enemy, I coming into the spiritual realm there, and I get him a spiritual backup to come and knock on your door, and God, the angels, is going to whoop you. I'm going to send them on you on my behalf. So you engage in your spiritual warfare. So if you come in to fight the enemy and you weak, right? If you come in to fight the enemy, you come into the door as a big bad man, knocking on the big bad man door, and you don't have no backup because you got unforgiveness in your heart. And God said, I ain't hearing you, bro. I'm not hearing you. All the malice you got, your people who did you wrong, you don't want to forgive them. I can't do nothing for you. I'm not hearing you. So you going, marching to the enemy door, knocking on his door. When you look back, your army's not behind you to back you up. What do you think gonna happen? What do you think the bully gonna do? Right? Because you're dependent on the army. When you look back, it's you alone. The army's not with you because God's saying here. So clear your heart of all of these unforgiveness, all this bitterness. You cannot go, and we can deal with Isaiah 58, and we're just going to explain this more, I guess, on Wednesday. But you got to clean your heart of all of these things. Don't go on a fast and you're bickering and you're fighting and you got on the phone and looking, you got, oh, you see what they're doing to me? No. Clear your heart of all this bitterness, all this unforgiveness, all this pride. And this has helped you with pride too, because if you got the pride, you can't really go into a fast properly, because you got to literally humble yourself to God, right? Humble yourself to him like the little child. You got to humble yourself, right? So this is a Matthew 6:16-18 saying, right? He said, when you fast. You see the saying, when you fast. Jesus said, it's not if you fast. I'll believe it should be fasting as God lead them. He said, when you fast, do not look somber as the hypocrites do, right? For they disfigure their faces to show others they're fasting. When you fasting, don't go announcing to the world that you fasting. The people in your inner circle need to know. People who need to know. But people who don't need to know you fasting, they don't need to know you fasting. You guys don't know. Many a days I come on here talking to you guys, I'm on a fast. Whether I'm on the first day, second day, third day, or a 1 day fast. But I don't come and announce to you guys. You don't see me looking like I'm sick or anything and I'm looking, no, I'm on a fast. No. You don't let people know you're on the fast. Don't disfigure your face. Don't look like people, oh, what's going on with him? Oh no, he's fasting, bro. He's fasting. He's deep into the Lord. No. You don't do that, right? Truly, I tell you, they have received their reward in full. So God is saying, if that's what you're doing, your fast, and you disfigure, you want everybody to know you're going on a fast, and looking like you're so sick, oh, I ain't eating 5 days, and God saying, and people looking and say, oh man, he's full of the Lord. That's your reward already. You already got your reward because you were looking for reward from man. So you got your reward already. People looking at you as this holy and thou, and he's fasting. Oh, it's 7 days he didn't eat. Oh man, he's truly led by the Spirit. No, you got your reward because man give you your reward already. That's what you were doing it for. But if you do it in secret, right? So let's go on and see. But when you fast, put oil on your head. Some translation, NLT said, comb your hair and wash your face, man. Comb your hair, wash your face, put a nice oil in your head. You must be looking good. People mustn't suspect nothing that what you're doing, right? So that it will not appear obvious to others that you are fasting. It must not appear obvious to others that you are fasting, but only to your Father who is unseen, and your Father who sees that is done is in secret will reward you, right, guys? So this is just some little things I want to introduce fasting and what it is. When you're fasting, don't go look like you fasting and forget, get praise from people. Because God's saying you get your reward. That's what you were after, for man to praise you, so you get it already. So I ain't got nothing more to give you. Well, if you humble yourself and he only comb your hair, wash your face, look good, like I said. Man, your days, you don't even know if I'm on a fast right now. And even if I do, I wouldn't tell you. But you don't know, right? Many days, I'm on a fast when I'm speaking to you guys. But you don't know that. And that's what God's saying. Let him know it. And in secret, he can reward you. You're looking for reward from men. Because no man can give me the backup I need to go and fight this spiritual fight that I need to fight with the things that's whooping me. I need God's backup. He's the only one who needs to know I'm fasting, and he's sending me backup. Man can't help me, because if man could have helped me, I wouldn't need to go through all this fasting and all that, right? So guys, I'm going to leave it there. Don't want to go on too long, but like I said, I may have to push in an extra day, and the day might be Thursday, to cover some things. If that's how I'm being led, I'll let you guys know on Wednesday, because it's